3 kids and 3 dogs. I don't know. Something like that. So the thing is we as humans have all these standards set by society that we feel that we are to accomplish and be at certain levels in our life, and all that does is create stress, anxiety, all sorts of health issues. So for this one, if we aren't going in and honoring our own truth and our own personal journey, and that we're in the perfect place, the perfect space at the right time, and that even things that are hurdles that happen to us are really beautiful lessons, that we're just going to be creating stress and anxiety and dis-ease in our bodies. So Katherine Woodward Thomas, the author, shares her own story here about how she went from high school to Bible college, and she knew in her heart that she wanted to be of service to the community and be a healer and give love, and so she felt that maybe she was going to be a missionary. So for many months she goes to this Bible college. She does prayer every single day for hours and meditation for hours, and after a period of time she's like, why am I not at this level? Why am I not here? Why am I still making minimum wage after 2 years of this practice? So she drops out of college. She gets back into an eating disorder because what she's doing is, from all these shitting all over herself, she's created anxiety and stress, which is mentally disabling. And so she goes on to give details like she couldn't even afford a dentist appointment. She needed a root canal. She couldn't afford it. So she became very upset, very depressed, and angry. And what happened was a few years later, she ended up in a 12-step program for eating disorders. And what's the first thing they told her to do? To pray and to meditate. Now, when we're praying, I know some people don't believe in God. When you pray, you can just pray for wisdom. You can pray to your higher truth. There's many ways of praying. So she hadn't spoken to God or meditated and been in that state for a couple years because she was so angry with herself that she wasn't at a certain place or level. So she talks about how, for her, the first steps of going back into this state and praying and meditating was to forgive God. And she didn't even want to do that. She didn't want to forgive God or forgive anybody. She was just angry that she wasn't at a certain place. So being angry is okay. So I just want to share that if we're angry or frustrated or sad or emotional, it's important to acknowledge those feelings within our body. And this is just something that I know. So a lot of people, when they feel something, emotions, they'll go to movies, maybe books, maybe go out with friends, maybe drink, do drugs, whatever. They're steamrolling these emotions versus feeling them and allowing them to surface and bubble out so that they can be removed from our body. And so for her, by being angry with God and sharing how frustrated she was, it was actually healing, and it started to open up her heart to allow love back in. So I just want to say that from a personal space. I got to practice this when my dog died in May, and I was just so emotional. And I don't usually get emotional, to be honest, so that's my own thing to work on. But with my dog, it was like one of the worst things ever. I had him for 13 and a half years. And so what I did was I stopped working for a few days, and I allowed myself to sit with the pain, to sit with the lessons that he taught me as a dog, to greet everybody with joy and smile and always find a way out of a trap. So by sitting there and allowing that experience to be with me of losing him, and being in the state of gratitude of having him, I allowed all these emotions to come, and I was able to move forward much faster versus steamrolling it and pretending like everything's okay. So thank you for joining, all that are just joining now. So it is important to acknowledge your feelings, and they're okay. they're perfect and whole and complete for you. So for her, that was the start of her healing, was getting angry, getting frustrated, and sharing that with God. And then as she did that, she was opened up to the profound disappointment that she had that was stealing herself from moving forward in her life. So what she says is, we resist going into stillness, like prayer or meditation, because we can't bear to face with the screaming of our psyches and the sadness in our hearts. Because what is anger and frustration? Usually there's an underlying root of that. So when we get present and we meditate and we allow ourselves to be silent, we will start to feel more emotion. We'll feel the feelings that we're having. If it's anxiety or grief, like there's a reason for everything. So that is the lesson of meditation. There was something, oh yeah. So for her, she was so frustrated with where her life had gone. But then the next thing you know is, as she went on her journey of meditating, forgiving God, opening herself back up, she realized when she looked around at the life she had created that she had gotten everything that she had asked for, because she was serving on Skid Row in LA. Sorry, text coming in. And she was in complete service. She was helping people. And she had come from a place of understanding, because she had these issues as well, like eating disorders. I mean, a lot of the people that are on Skid Rows, they're full of addictions, drugs, alcohol, all sorts of stuff, sex. So by being in a place of service, she realized she actually did create just the life that she wanted. It just didn't appear the way she thought it should. So when she got really present, hello, thank you for joining, she was able to see that. How powerful, how powerful. And so then she felt guilty and bad for being mad at God, but whatever. We move on. God gets it. He thinks we're funny. So what she has here is, Ralph Waldo Emerson once said that prayer was the contemplation of life from the highest point of view. She's discovered that her clients who pray for help and guidance tend to make much better progress than clients that don't. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard the term, like, looking from 30,000 feet. Looking from 30,000 feet. So when we look at our life from 30,000 feet, that's a funny noise. Hello, thanks for joining. So when we look at stuff from 30,000 feet, really take ourselves out of our situation, which is why sometimes we do need to go to friends, so that we can see the bigger picture. Because sometimes we get so stuck in our ways and how we're doing things that we don't see the bigger picture, and it's really important to do that. Meditation can help. Meditation can help to see the 30,000 feet. So to stay present in everyday life, it helps to be deeply rooted within yourself. Otherwise, the mind, which has incredible momentum, will drag you like a wild river. Yes, yes, yes. Sometimes we get lost in our own shit, for lack of a better word. We create so much stress and anxiety that sometimes it's like a spiral pit, and it can be hard. That well can be hard to get out of, but it's so possible. And meditation is super beneficial. Super beneficial. I know. I don't know who's watching. Hopefully no kids. Okay. So often, it isn't that love is missing in our lives as much as we missed it when it was there. Prayer and meditation plugs us into the source of love, and therefore renders us much more conscious and aware of its constant presence. So that is so true. That is so true. And I fully believe that our dreams, like the one that I'm calling in on my journey, my guy, he's right here. And I probably haven't even noticed him. Or maybe I have. And we haven't gotten to that space yet. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I am being led by Katherine Woodward Thomas, but yes, I definitely throw in my own tidbits as well. Is it you? You're funny. So here's the quote from Rumi. Cease looking for the flowers. There blooms a garden in your own home. While you look for trinkets, the treasure house awaits you in your own being. I once heard a sermon around how some people don't feel at home. They might be sleeping on their friend's couch. They might be sleeping in their car. They might be in an apartment with 10 other people. And if we can't find our own home in any situation that we're in, we're going to create stress and anxiety. And it's really coming from that place of a solid foundation, which can be supported by meditation. So when we get really present in our life, yeah, but it's about finding home within. So I think I'm talking a little about something different. But yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that too. So the experience of absolute love and affinity is what we are ultimately seeking to connect with when we pray and meditate. Right? That's what we want. We want deep connection and love. Yet we put up all these filters all the time, such as the radio. There's someone with you. Yeah, my girlfriend. She just flashed me, actually, to try and totally throw me off. What a stinker. What a stinker. I did pretty good, though, right? So anyway. You like that. You like that, yeah. I'm kind of blushing right now. Oh, you thought I was with the one? No, I would tell you. I would tell you. Not there yet. Not there yet. I had a good date last night, though. I did have a good date. Have to say.
Make it clear they don't think I'm your girlfriend.
Okay. So, there is a tremendous similarity between what scientific evidence indicates a daily practice of prayer and meditation that is also aligned with the emotional maturity that we demonstrate with creating a relationship and a loving partnership. So there is scientific evidence. You can probably search meditation benefits. It has been so proven. They've done so many studies on the brain. In fact, this is insane. I really don't want to believe it because I like to sleep. But 20 minutes of meditation is the equivalent of 3 hours of sleep. So if you wake up and you don't feel, does meditation equal yoga? Meditation can equal many things. Yes, yoga is so good for you. So, meditation though, think of that. Think about how you wake up some days and you just don't feel like you got enough sleep. If you just take a minute and close your eyes and get present and do a meditation and sit there in silence for 20 minutes, even 10 minutes, it's going to be so rejuvenating for you. And it allows you to get creative and open other channels in your mind. If, let's say, you're working on a project. Sometimes I just need to lay down for 10 minutes. Aww. Yeah, I mean, just for me, reading this book was really meditative. I was telling you, in the very beginning, I was super stressed out when I first, like today, not stressed out, just energy, like chaotic energy. And by sitting here and reading this lesson today, like, really grounded me and got me present, which felt really amazing. So the ability to remain centered and balanced in response to a perceived threat. Let's say someone gives you negative feedback or says something they don't like about you. If you practice meditation on a regular basis, you feel whole and complete, someone else's negative comments aren't going to throw you off. And so what she says, bringing meditation into it, is that this is going to support a healthy, sustainable, and loving relationship because you're not going to be reactive all the time. Yes, they are. If you watch my YouTube videos, I have 2 on dealing with negative people that are drains. I have YouTube, I call it Shift the Paradigm, Paradym, but it's just at Bethany Londyn. You can find Bethany Londyn, whatever. Google me. So